All right, welcome into the Lowdown Sports Show. This show is brought to you by the Basketball Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Drew,
I'm BJ.
and we're here to get the lowdown on all things basketball. This podcast is also partnered with Fanatics.
Heck yeah, man. I'm telling you, when you want to go find yourself a brand new jersey, college football season's coming back. So if you want to rep your Texas Longhorns, your Ohio State Buckeyes, the Alabama Crimson Tide, whoever you may be a fan of, go check out Fanatics and use our code the lowdown when you want to get a good deal on shipping. You'll be able to get any kind of shirt, jersey, hat, whatever you may want to find on Fanatics, and we'll be thankful that you did.
Check it out. Hey, Notre Dame Fighting Irish got some new merch out there. If
That's
y'all are fans,
right.
y'all might need to get some of that. And silly goose, there's no lowdown code. There are codes from Fanatics though that pop up occasionally to get that free shipping. But check out Fanatics.
Yeah,
In the meantime,
there's a link in our bio, isn't there, for where we
yeah,
if you
it's in our link tree.
shop through that link. Yeah.
You can check it out there. All right, got a full show for you guys today. Talking NBA, WNBA, going around the association for the
Woo!
first time in season 3. Talking about KD, he's staying in Brooklyn. It's Kobe Bryant's birthday as we record on a Tuesday,
Oh
August
man,
23rd. And the Suns' 30th anniversary jerseys, they popped those out. They're going to be playing with those this
can't
year.
wait to talk about that.
And we've got some BJ's best, some what's on Drew's mind, and of course we're talking some WNBA playoffs. Playoffs? Playoffs. We
Playoffs.
are talking some playoffs, and of course the illustrious, the famous game, With It or Quit It. Lots on tap. So let's just dive
Here we
right into it
go.
as long as BJ's ready.
Oh, of course, Drew. I was ready when you hit that live button and said go.
All right, let's get into it, Beach. Okay, so NBA side of things, we're talking Kevin Durant and him staying in Brooklyn. That happened earlier today. Reminder, we're recording on a Tuesday. Kevin Durant made it known that he is staying in Brooklyn, according to a statement from Nets general manager Sean Marks. Said, "quote Steve Nash and I, being Sean Marks, together with Governors Joe Tsai and Clara Wu Tsai. Ooh, I'm butchering that probably. Met with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman in Los Angeles yesterday. Mark said in a statement, "We have agreed to move forward with our partnership. We are focusing on basketball and one collective goal in mind, building a lasting franchise to build a championship to Brooklyn." So, BJ, since KD is staying in Brooklyn, he's getting Ben Simmons back and probably Kyrie staying there.
Yeah.
Are the Nets looking to come out of the East now, or what's going on?
I can't think that the Nets are the favorites to come out of the East just because of how much talent there is, but they're certainly going to be a contender. And I think we talked about, when he first made the trade request, all the odds tanked that, Brooklyn was about to throw in the towel and Kevin Durant was going to leave, as was Kyrie, and a lot of people, you should have put some money on that Brooklyn Nets team back then when there was still so much uncertainty, because come out looking like a genius now. I don't think they're going to be the favorites, Drew, but I think that they will definitely be a player. When you've got a guy who was at the halfway point last year, Drew, was our pick for the MVP, or at least
Hmm.
my pick. Well, he was up there in the conversation for sure. When you've got KD, having Kyrie for the whole season this time, and hopefully getting Ben Simmons back and healthy, and actually being able to add him to a very talented roster, and hopefully he'll be able to make some plays for you. That keeps this Brooklyn team certainly as a playoff team, and certainly as a threat in the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't necessarily go ahead and put them as the favorites, though.
Right, but a healthy Kevin Durant is very dangerous. You talked about him
Absolutely.
being our MVP favorite for that early part. He was in the top two conversation. I don't think it was one of those stars that ended up finishing top three. I think it was Man, it was Kevin Durant and Jokic, I believe, at the time when it was going, and then Embiid on the heels, and
Hmm.
Giannis always there. But it
Yeah.
was a race between those two, and then Kevin Durant went down, and then Jokic had the advantage and didn't look back.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
it does change a lot out in Brooklyn. They're keeping everything together. There were questions about whether Steve Nash should stay. Is Kyrie going to stay? He's going to go to LA. That still hasn't been a a set in stone. Like, what's this
Hmm.
guy going to do yet? But Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, and as long as they get some pieces to formulate around him, because uh, with Kevin Durant, you're going to be able to contend for things. Because who is going to stop Kevin Durant on a night in and night out basis when he is
Yeah.
healthy? Not really anybody in the world that can do it, no matter how good of a defender, just because of that length. So they'll be a threat in the East, but
Absolutely.
the East is very deep and it's coming back healthy this year. I mean, the whole league's coming back pretty healthy, knock on wood, but going to be
Yeah.
pretty deep out in the East, going to be nice and feisty out there. But looking forward to a healthy Kevin Durant. Man, I'm looking forward to a full season, hopefully, of a healthy Kevin
Yeah.
Durant because I feel like it's been ages now since we've gotten that. When was the last time?
2018, right?
2018, yeah, because the
It
injury
had to have
happened in
been
19.
still,
So
still when he was with Golden State.
yeah, so 3 full seasons we haven't gotten a healthy Durant for the entirety of it. So need that
Now,
back as soon as possible.
Drew, do you know how long before we got this news? How long ago it was that Kevin Durant had asked about or had requested a trade?
Probably a month, maybe.
No, it was almost 2 months ago. This was
I
at
was
the
two
end of
months.
June, June 30th, and so we're
Time is
here. We
flying.
are a week from the end of August, and I mean, look at that. Like we were waiting. We did several episodes, and it was still uncertain the whole time.
Hmm.
With 2 months of uncertainty with this Brooklyn team, where were they going to go? What were the Lakers going to do? And now the question with Kevin Durant and assumably uh, Kyrie and Simmons being able to stay paired up in Brooklyn. What did the Lakers do? Because there was a lot of talk that once KD was going to be shipped out, Kyrie was next, and a logical destination was LA if they get traded Russell Westbrook back or just got rid of him, and so that affects a lot of teams in not just Brooklyn. It affects a lot of teams and what they were you know planning or trying to pull off in this NBA offseason.
As currently constructed, where do you see the Brooklyn Nets finishing in the East right now?
As currently constructed, I think they're a top six seed. I think that's a
Oh,
pretty
that's
fair
the easy
statement.
way out.
Well,
Pick
I,
one
I,
then. I'm
well,
saying, where do you think they finished? Not, I mean, give an answer. Pick one, two, three,
I
four,
mean,
five, or six.
I had him. I had him kind of right on the edge of that 4-5. That's why I went ahead and just said top six. So I'll say five, just because you made me pick a number. I think this is still a really good team, but I mean, you talk about the talent that Boston added, the defending East champs. Miami's still going to be really really dangerous if you get a healthy season from all those guys up in Chicago. They were good. Cleveland
Yep,
was good and riddled with injuries there at the end that
yep.
made them drop off. I
Gonna
mean,
be
you're
healthy.
and Milwaukee.
Yep,
Two
Bucks.
two seasons ago were just the champs. So
Yep.
like we talked about, the East is stacked, and it's tough for them to rise up too much higher. But I think with those three guys, 5-6 is very respectable in that race to avoid the play-in.
And can't forget about the ATL Hawks who added DeJounte Murray. So who knows
Yeah,
how much better the
yeah.
Hawks will be
Oh
now. So
man,
we'll see. You know.
yeah, I would not be placing a lot of money on the futures yet until I see it out on the court, especially in the East.
Yeah,
You're just
don't
throwing
blame
away
me.
money at that time.
But I bet a Nets championship bet wouldn't be too bad. I bet the odds would be pretty good in your favor if you took that. But I probably wouldn't take it. Just
Yeah,
because the
not
East
as
is
good as
way
they would have
too
been 2 months ago, but pretty good.
right. Just because the East is just too even keel nowadays. Um, Moving on though, we're talking about the East,
Yeah.
but let's talk about a team in the West now. The Phoenix Suns 30th anniversary with these jerseys at
Yes.
least are coming about
Oh
here.
yeah.
The Phoenix Suns coming back with that old school jersey that they had 30 years ago as Charles Barkley took the Phoenix Suns to the finals in these
Mm-hmm.
legendary jerseys. Man, we're going to have to do another jersey episode at some point this season for sure.
Oh, I know,
The
dude.
Streaking Sun. is what it's called. I
Yes.
guess it's not. The Streaking Sun, the asymmetrical shorts, one of the most iconic uniforms in NBA history, arrived in Phoenix 3 decades ago. In celebration of that
Yeah.
30th anniversary, the classic Rising Sunburst uniform is once again bringing the heat to NBA fans with a refreshed look for the upcoming 2022-2023 season. The Nike Hardwood Classic Edition uniform presented by PayPal is a modern version of the cult classic. So fire up that Walkman and take a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, did you see the video the Suns posted on their Twitter with I believe it was DeAndre Ayton, and he had the Walkman, and he had like the old school Polaroid and the old school video
Mm-hmm.
camera and everything like that. It's so cool to get like a '90s nostalgia. You know, we did a Jersey episode in season 2, Drew, and I'm a big fan of like the retro stuff, the classic looks, and when I heard that they were bringing back this look, I was immediately excited. I'm not a Suns fan, but I'm thinking I might have to, you know, especially after that Western Conference semifinal series, I might have to cop me a Devin Booker jersey just because of how clean the retro look is for that Suns team.
There you go. Or if anybody wants to get me a jersey, Phoenix, you can get Chris Paul. I'll take Chris Paul or Devin Booker. A little
Yeah,
birthday
Chris
present.
Paul's not a
I'll
bad
take
one
I'll
either.
take
Yeah,
a late present. You know what I'm saying? I'll take late presents. I'm not picky. You know.
you got a good time for your birthday before the season starts. I'm already, you know, my birthday comes like way like the midway point in the season, almost close to the All Star break. Nobody's going to buy me diddly by that point.
A, a radical change for Phoenix, the Sunburst marked the first major redesign of the team's uniforms in more than 20 years. The unis debuted on November 7th, 1992, the regular season opener and the first NBA game to be played inside the new arena in the heart of downtown Phoenix, the then named America West Arena, now Footprint
Mm-hmm.
Center.
Yeah, and this I think this is my favorite look that Phoenix has had all time. Obviously, I remember the era when they had Steve Nash and they had those PHX with the white and the orange and the purple
Yeah.
look, and those were pretty good. But nothing. I've been for a long time. I've been a fan of most. I'm not gonna say all the '90s looks, but the NBA really got creative in the '90s with their jerseys, and I mean those are still a lot of those are my favorites to this day.
Yeah, I love the throwback jerseys, like Cam was talking about in the chat with Jazz
With the
bringing back
purple
the
mountains,
Purple
yeah,
Mountains. Yeah, those are awesome jerseys. Even if
I
you're not
love
a
them.
Jazz fan, you really like it, and you would buy that jersey probably.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm
look,
trying to find me a old school Vancouver Grizzlies or one
there
of
you go,
the purple dinosaur Toronto Raptors look. Like,
there
I
you
mean,
go.
I'm here for it. Like all the retro stuff, just give it to me.
Can't wait till we get those new, get the release of what the jerseys are going to be for all the teams. We will whip out a jersey episode once again
Yes,
when that comes
yes,
around. But
yes,
cop
yes.
these Phoenix jerseys. These are nice throwbacks, tributes to something from 30 years ago. So go cop a Phoenix jersey on Fanatics and shop them with the Lowdown. Go to that
There you
link
go.
tree link that we talked about earlier and go get you some
Absolutely.
Phoenix jerseys. Go ahead. We
That's
know we
where I'm.
we know we got some Sun fans out there.
That's where I'm going to be going as soon as the episode's over. I think, Drew.
There you go. Sounds like a good idea to me. I'm gonna hold you to it now that you said that. I'm expecting you to go to Fanatics now, BJ.
I'll
Uh,
go. I might not pull the trigger quite yet on the jersey
oh
though.
God, he's
I
pump
need. I got to
faking
get
us.
paid first. I got to get paid. That's all
He's
right.
like, I'm gonna go click the link, but I'm not gonna buy anything. All right. Um,
We don't
moving
get money
on.
for clicks. No.
No, no dinero.
No
Um,
De Niro. Mm,
No dinero. Moving on, though, next up on the NBA side of things, we want to make sure we talk about a legend in the game, Mr. Kobe Bryant. His
yeah.
birthday today, I believe he's going to be 44 today. Is that correct, BJ? Uh,
I'm gonna double check. I think you're
he is
right. He
born on
was.
August 23rd, 1978. So if we got a
Yep.
little math going
44.
on, yeah, 44. Boom.
Mm,
44. Kobe Bryant would have been today, and we all know the tragedy that happened years ago now of him
uh,
and his daughter and the girls on that basketball team and the coach all dying in that critical plane crash. So rest in peace to Kobe and happy birthday. But
I tell you,
wanted
the world has not been the same ever since that happened, Drew. It
yeah
still breaks my heart, even 2.5 years later.
wanted to go through some moments of Kobe Bryant's career, just some memorable things. 24. We're not going to go through all 24, but some of the 24 moments here from Yahoo Sports that cooked something up for Kobe Bryant's moments and some quotes from the Lakers legend on his birthday. One of them is Kobe winning the dunk contest back in 1997. Kobe going against Michael Jordan, his idol, in the 1998 NBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
Kobe and Shaq, the iconic Game 7 alley-oop 22 years ago.
Wow. Mm. Back in June, right?
Yeah. And Kobe and the Lakers, of course, three-peat as champions in 01 or 2000, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant's posterizer on rookie Dwight Howard. His 81 points against the Raptors back in 2006.
Yeah. That was an amazing scoring barrage.
The Olympic gold medal he won with the Redeem Team, and that documentary is going to be coming out soon, produced by LeBron James and Wayne Wade. Probably should have thrown that into to the topic that I actually forgot about that. But yes, the Redeem Team is working on a doc, or
Awesome.
LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are working on a doc about the Redeem Team.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But we might have to do a movie review one episode.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant, the illustrious. You probably saw this video. A lot of people have seen this video before of him and Matt Barnes when Matt Barnes was on the Magic, where Matt Barnes is he's throwing an inbound pass. He fakes like he's gonna throw it in Kobe's face, pump fakes it. Kobe doesn't flinch,
Yeah.
and he throws it in.
Yeah.
Definitely
I
one that still
definitely
floats the
have seen
internet
that.
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's iconic.
Kobe getting his 5th championship over the Celtics 12 years ago. Let's see what we got here. Kobe ending his career with the 60-point game against the Jazz
Yeah.
in 2016.
I'll never forget that, man. Mm.
Both of his numbers being retired by the Lakers, number 8 and number 24.
Yeah.
And Kobe winning an Oscar for Dear Basketball based on a poem he wrote ahead of his NBA retirement.
Yeah, I know you didn't mention it, Drew, but I think one of my earliest memories that I have of watching Kobe, because I watched basketball every now and again when I was real little, but I kind of didn't really pay attention to players or teams or anything like that until I was in, almost in middle school, late elementary school era. And one of the most iconic things I remember from Kobe Bryant was that game winner he had in the playoffs in the matchup with the Suns. I think it was in the first round. And just keeping that series, really competitive and giving Phoenix a run for their money with a clearly overmatched Lakers team where he basically had to do it all on his own. That was kind of my introduction to Kobe Bryant.
Definitely grew more to love Kobe outside of his basketball life as opposed to during basketball, because it was people were trying to put my boy LeBron below Kobe, and I was having those LeBron versus Kobe battles as I was growing up. So I could never be full on show the love to Kobe as a player that I'm always doing it, because I was always having to fight that LeBron versus Kobe stuff. But Kobe's still a fantastic player, and
Absolutely.
happy birthday, happy 40. What would have been 44th. Moving on now to it's BJ's time. It's
my time.
BJ's best.
All right, Drew. Well, I know you know what starts up this week, but for those that may not know, this is week 1 of the Texas high school football season starting up this week. Both Drew and I will be otherwise preoccupied. So if you're trying to, get a hold of us on Friday night, don't, because you won't be able to. I can already go ahead and tell you that we'll both be doing some play-by-play broadcast of high school football. And so, Drew, in honor of Texas high school football returning for BJ's Best this week, I wanted to talk about some of these predictions that Dave Campbell's has done in their annual magazine that they release every year. Some preseason predictions for state championships. We'll go from 6A to 3A. I think that's a pretty good, pretty good list of championship teams that that we can talk about. Last year there were really good teams in all classifications that won. You could talk about the Gilmers of the world, the Carthages, even going down to you go down to Shiner. Shiner was a 2A champion last year, as was Lorena, I believe. So, it really tests your knowledge on how many teams you know. But I'm not going to go that far down. I'm going to give you the 6A state championship predictions we'll talk about, and then I'll go from 6A to 3A, and we'll talk a little bit about each one of these teams. So you ready, Drew?
I'm ready like SpongeBob.
All right, you're ready. You're ready. You're ready for some football.
Mm.
So in the 6A ranks, Dave Campbell's has Austin Westlake predicted to repeat as state champions again, as in 6A Division 1, coming out of Region 4, defeating Lake Travis along the way. It does not say who they would defeat in the state title game, but Austin Westlake, the team to beat in 6A Division 1 in your mind?
I don't know a whole lot about anything outside my division or my district, BJ. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just got back into college, or I got into high school football last year, so I
Yeah.
had to learn some 5A last year. Got to learn 4A this year. So I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah, they just lost Cade Klipnick. This Westlake team did, but I think they're still going to be the team to beat coming out of 6A Division 1. Going down to 6A Division 2, South Lake Carroll is predicted as the state champions from 6A Division 2. Obviously, we won't get to a repeat of that Westlake South Lake Carroll state championship a couple of years ago that had uh, uh, oh
You can
shoot,
do it.
I know it's drawing a blank, but I know it's the Dodge Bowl they called it, because
Oh,
Riley was the head coach of South Lake Carroll. His father was the head coach. I think he retired after last season. Todd Dodge was the head coach of Westlake, and they matched up in the 2020 state championship in 6A. So now they're both projected to be state champions, Westlake and Carroll. Carroll will be coming out of Region 1 in Division 2, and they would defeat, probably, it says Katy, I think, is who they would face. But they'd have to go through a team like a Denton Geyer along the way. What do you think about South Lake Carroll's state champion?
no, give me Denton Geyer.
You got Denton Geyer?
Yeah,
Well, when you got
rocking
a
with
kid
Denton
like
Geyer.
yeah, when you got a kid like Jackson Arnold, it definitely makes that Denton Geyer team a tough out. They don't have Rodney Webb as head coach anymore at Denton Geyer. He went and took an AD job, I believe, at Highland Park. But it'll be interesting to watch this Geyer team all season long. So we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk some 5A. We're going to talk 5A Division 1. And the pick to win the state championship from 5A Division 1 is the Longview Lobos, coming out of Region 2, taking down Frisco Lone Star, Denton Ryan, and College Station along the way. What do you think about that, Drew?
No,
No, who you got?
I don't know. I don't know. I did not. I didn't expect to hear Longview.
No, I didn't expect it either. I mean, I think when you talk about teams in 5A, you've got Aledo that joined the 581 ranks this year. They're a perennial powerhouse. You've got Frisco Lone Star that's always a player. College Station, I think, just won it last year. So I was not expecting Longview to be the pick, since they have not been to the state title since Haynes King was there, I don't believe. It'll be interesting, though, in the 5A Division 1 race. Cam going with El Paso El Dorado. That's, I believe, where he went to high school. So he's showing a little bias there. All right, 5A Division 2. The both of our teams are familiar with that. You guys were up there in 5A D2 last year, and we remain in 5A D2 this year. The pick is South Oak Cliff to go back to back. They will defeat Lovejoy, Argyle, and Fort Bend Marshall along the way. What do you think about that, Drew?
I say no. I think Lovejoy finally gets past.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been to the regional final the last 2 years and then lost to the eventual state champions. They bring
Yeah,
back 10 offensive starters. I think they could legitimately have a case to be the ones to win it all this year.
I think it's time.
I mean, a third time is the charm. according to Drew in 5A Division 2. All right, shift gears. We'll talk 4A Division 1. And Drew, Sulphur Springs not the pick, unfortunately, to win the
I
state
sure hope
championship.
not.
But the pick is from Region 2. It is Stephenville taking down China Spring, Dumas, and Tyler Chapel Hill. What do you think about the Stephenville team coming out and winning 4A D1 this year?
I'm gonna rock with Tyler Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill is a good team coming out of Region 3. I
Shout
think
out to
they
my
will be a
cousin.
tough.
He's coaching out there. Come on now.
Ooh, heck yeah. Awesome. I'll be cheering for Chapel Hill for you then. I'll tell you that.
There you go.
And then 4A Division 2, this is a name that you should be very familiar with. Saw this team. They knocked my team out of the playoffs in 2019. That would be the Carthage Bulldogs. They're predicted to beat Pleasant Grove, Wichita Falls, Hershey, and West Orange Stark to make it and win the state title yet again. What do you think about Carthage, Drew?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, probably. They win
Yeah,
a
the
lot of championships.
Yeah, the nickname that we always had for them was Carnage because it seemed like there was nothing in their path that they could not go through and destroy.
And
So
there's nothing you can do about it.
no, nothing you can do about it, not one bit. All
They
right,
did get
last but
upset last year, though, right?
no, I think they won last year. I think it was 2020 that they got upset because they won it all in 2019, and then I think they won it all last year.
I don't know.
I
I feel
can
like
double
I,
check.
I feel like I saw something that they got upset.
I'll double check for you. You know what? I'll do that for you. We'll talk about 3A though, real quick. Last but not least, in this Texas high school state ranks in 3A Division 1, the pick is in and
Winsboro. Oh,
no, actually, it is Brock. Brock is projected to come out of Region 1, taking down Shallow Water, Mount Vernon, and Franklin. So not Lorena who won it last year. It's actually Brock predicted to be the state champions in 3A Division 1.
it's definitely possible. I mean, that's a tough road though. If you got to go through Mount Pleasant,
It's Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon. Yeah, it's a tough road if you got to go through Mount Vernon.
Yeah, Mount Vernon. I know Art Briles stepped down. I believe it was before last season, was it not?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
But
he's
that
no longer
is
the coach out
one
there.
of his old assistants is the head guy out there.
You were right. It was last year. They won in 2019, 2020, but it was last year.
Yeah.
You
It
know
was like
4A better
fourth
than me.
round
That's
or
fine.
something. Well, like I just saw, there was a picture of of the end result. Like it was like these Badada champions out of this many years just went down in
Yeah,
round whatever. I saw the
yeah.
picture of them on the football field and everything. I was like, ah. I don't remember who beat them. Did you see who it said beat them?
No, but looking back, the likely suspect was, probably like a team. West Orange Stark, I think, might have been it, but I couldn't find who beat them. It just says after a stumble last year.
Okay.
Didn't say who they lost to. Last but not least, 3A Division 2. The state champion prediction for this year, Drew, is Gunner. They lost the title game last year, and this would be their third state championship. They would have to go through Holiday, Canadian, and Newton in order to be the state champions. What say you in 3A D2?
I'm with that.
Yeah, I think Gunner is going to be a really good team again this year. And so that is some of. I'm not going to give away the whole bacon. You'll have to get your own Dave Campbell's copy if you'd like to see the 2A and 1A ranks state championship predictions. But welcome back, Texas high school football, and boy, I mean it doesn't feel like it took as long as it normally does, but at some points it did feel like it dragged on an eternity in between last season and now.
Yeah, I think the initial was the slowest part.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
So that's BJ's best, Drew.
There you go. BJ's best once again. BJ's on top of it. And you over here talking about football. Man, Texas high school football is back. College football is also back. And I'm ready. I'm
Yes,
ready for all this
sir.
football to be back in full swing. So just like I know what to expect during the week and on the weekends so I can see these games. It's time to enjoy the tradition, the fun, the great offers that are at DraftKings Sportsbook. Celebrate the best time of year. People say it's football season. I like basketball season, but the best time of year, that's right now. Where new customers can bet just $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets instantly, whether you win or lose.
Yeah, that's right, Drew. Week 0 is starting up in college football this Saturday, and then there's going to be 5 full days of college football action starting next Thursday all the way through the following Monday. In fact, you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 full days of for Labor Day weekend of college football action. And in honor of that, I'm going to give you some of the games that I like this weekend, Drew. I like
Ooh,
Nebraska as a 13-point favorite over Northwestern on Saturday. And give me, you know what? Give me Charlotte +7. I'm going to go with the underdog pick there at
okay.
FAU. So I'm going to give you a couple games there that I really like. And so if that's not enough action for you, if you can't wait till week 1, don't worry. You can also place a same game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Just combine multiple bets into one, like which team's going to win, which team will be the first to score, and much, much more. And best of all, Drew, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can place your money, you can deposit your cash, and withdraw it whenever you want.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TBPN. Bet just $5 on college football and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's promo code TBPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Drew. I know we talk about it each week, and you always say you've got a lot on your mind. Maybe you're thinking about SMU's field with all that rain that came down. Looked like it had a bubble in it, Drew. Maybe that's not what's on your mind, though, this week. So why don't you go ahead and end the suspense and tell me what's on your mind this week?
Well, BJ, it's not that rain. That rain is a little bit annoying. I did slip in a puddle going to lunch today and fall on my
Oh,
knee. That was
no.
very painful. It was a very
No.
painful experience. I did not appreciate it.
No.
But one thing is, you guys will appreciate is something I appreciated that happened on my birthday, and it's one of the two things we're talking about that's on Drew's mind today. And that, BJ, is the House of the Dragon. The
Oh.
House
You
of the
got a
Dragon.
review, spoiler free review, I hope. Oh no.
Ah,
HBO's
yes.
copyrights just came after us, man.
Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon is here. And it came in a big way, BJ. House of the Dragons debut on Sunday, August 21st, my beloved birthday, is officially the most watched series premiere of 2022, surpassing
Mm.
Euphoria season 2 and Stranger Things 4.
Wow.
It is the largest, or best, I should say, best debut for an HBO show ever. The biggest series
Wow.
premiere in HBO history, brought in 10 million viewers in the United States.
Man.
Man,
People have been missing the Game of Thrones, I guess, Drew.
man, the House of the Dragon, they were all on pins and needles waiting for it. People were tweeting up a storm during the show. The hashtags are still alive and well. People have the Dracarys app and their little dragons and everything. We were prepared, BJ, for this to come about. We have been waiting 3 long years for some more Game of Thrones content, okay? And even all the people
Yeah.
that were upset at the end of Game of Thrones, they're all back now and in full force to watch House of the Dragon. And BJ, you have absolutely no excuse to not watch this series
Well, it's
at all.
funny because I saw something that I wanted to bring up with you separately, but we can do it on the podcast. It says it's this tweet. It's from it's not anybody that I follow, but I saw this tweet. It says, I have a very huge respect for those who didn't watch Game of Thrones at all, not even a single episode, even with all the noise made online, offline about it. These set of people cannot be affected by social pressure, peer pressure, or any kind of pressure in the world. Wonder what you think about
That's
that.
false. That's not true at all. What's the dang show? You're gonna like it anyway. Golly, and you don't even have to pay for anything to watch it, BJ. You're killing me here.
Well, you're right. I
Just
mean,
tell me you hate sci-fi. Jesus.
no, it's not even that. I never really, thought that the premise was for me when it first started, and I heard a lot of people talking about it, and I just hadn't had a chance to really sit down and watch it. So maybe I'll give it a shot later this week once I like after maybe a Friday night game or something like that when I can't sleep. I don't know.
You're lying. Okay. No
No,
need to
not
fib
necessarily
during the
lying.
podcast. Not
Not
telling the
necessarily
truth.
lying.
Okay. All right.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, BJ, your fibs that you're telling over here, these non-truths. Uh,
Fibs.
Continuing my talk about House of the Dragon, there's been a lot of tweets, as I said, came out with the hashtag House of the Dragon, hashtag HODT House of the Dragon, of course, and there were some comparisons that I thought were very interesting. Those that have seen Game of Thrones and got to see the first episode of House of the Dragon, you can indulge with me. There have been comparisons of Mr. Otto Hightower, who is the current Hand of the King in House of the Dragon, to Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, which I've actually talked with one of my best friends about this, and we actually found a more comparison to Tywin Lannister than Littlefinger. Maybe it's a mixture of both. I want to see what you guys think out there, but I think it's maybe more Tywin than Littlefinger because Otto Hightower is coming in here with a name. Littlefinger had no name, no land, no titles, no anything. Just kind of fighting to make his way through schemes and I don't want to say schemes and plots because Tyrion schemes and plots are the same thing. I don't want to get caught in that right now. Um, but no, Otto Hightower being compared to Littlefinger, that's some of the things right there. One of my friends pointed out the difference in the look of the dragons in House of the Dragon. Like they don't all look the same like they did in Game of Thrones. Like we
Hmm.
noticed, like Daemon Targaryen's dragon has like a spiky looking tail, and like Syrax's, who is Rhaenyra's dragon, has like a longer looking neck to me and like a small head. So
Is
like
that
they look, the dragons are looking different. There's supposed to be about 19 in this series, and we've only seen two so far, but they already have differences compared to the dragons we saw in Game of Thrones.
so?
Okay.
You're saying that that's because the dragons are supposed to be younger? Is that maybe just a different visual effect or something? Maybe
No,
I
not
don't know.
younger. I mean, it's just to show that I guess that they're all not going to look the same. Like we've seen
Okay.
those, all three of those dragons that Daenerys had, they all look the same. Just one was bigger than the rest, and they were different colors. But kind of how they were structured, the face, the body, tail, kind of
Yeah.
the same thing with those three. But these are a bit different in House of the Dragon, it seems,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
far. So I'm interested to see what the rest of the dragons look like. We saw some familiar house names come about, and we've seen that some of them in the trailer. One that people are especially pointing to, Rickon Stark of Winterfell. Uh, Definitely a name that people are going to look out for. The Starks, everybody knows how prominent they were in Game of Thrones. So as soon as they
Hmm.
saw Rickon Stark in this, they had their eyes glued to the TV to take a look about this. And oh my goodness, I'm just
Yeah.
coming out. Uh, Oh wow, I'm just coming across this, but this is astounding little comparison look-alike here. So, uh, BJ, you've seen Shrek, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You know Princess Fiona.
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember what she looks like, the red hair, green
Yeah.
dress.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Somebody's got a side-by-side picture of her
Oh
with
dear.
Alicent Hightower from House of the Dragon,
Uh
and they're
oh.
wearing like similar things. So like, there's a comp there. That's kind of funny that they. I mean, she is redheaded. She's wearing this green dress, this necklace. It adds up. It's that's kind of crazy.
So Shrek is canon in the Game of Thrones universe. Then I'm guessing.
Huh? Oh, shut up.
No.
Um,
Did you just
but
tell me to shut up?
nope. House of the
Okay.
Dragon right now is definitely something. It had some stuff within the show in the first episode that's going to keep you kind of glued to your TV. Um, I don't want to say too much to spoil it for anybody. Daemon Targaryen going to be a character I think people are going to like throughout the course of the series. But just wanted to mention some House of Dragon stuff today. Make sure you guys are watching every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Time on HBO Max. That includes you, BJ. Looking at you.
Well, I've got a lot of
Um,
catching up before I probably start this show. So,
Catching up to what?
well, don't I? Do I have to watch Game of Thrones to understand
No,
House of the
this is a
Dragon?
prequel, goofball.
Oh well, okay, but I mean, Better Call Saul is a prequel to Breaking Bad, but there's
You
certain
don't
things
have to
that
see Breaking Bad before you watch Better Call Saul.
no, but it makes it you can appreciate some of the things they did with Better Call Saul
Eh.
better having watched Breaking Bad first. I that's my argument at
I
least.
mean, sure, but I mean, you can watch Game of Thrones going along with it, but we know you're not going to sit down and watch Game of Thrones, so why even bring it up? Just watch the dang House of the Dragon, BJ, and be satisfied with watching your prequel. Goodness.
All right, all
Secondly,
right, all right,
on
all right.
secondly
Okay.
on Drew's mind today is Halloween ends. Hashtag Halloween ends.
Ooh.
And last Halloween movie coming out. It's finally ending this
Well,
ginormous sequence of Halloween movies that have been going on since feels like the dawn of time.
1978. Yeah, I think was the first one.
Ring.
So
Uh,
give it 5 more years. It'll probably be back for its 50th.
yeah, you're right. 1978 was the first one that came out. You got a bunch of them. The 1978 original Halloween one, Halloween 2 in 1981, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers in 1988, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers in 89, Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers in 95, Halloween H20 20
Yeah.
years later in
Hmm.
1998, Halloween Resurrection in 2002, Halloween in 2018,
Yeah, the 40th
Halloween
anniversary.
Kills last year. I watched that. Halloween 2007,
Oof.
Halloween 2
Gosh.
2009,
Golly.
Halloween 3 Season of the Witch in 1982,
Lord.
and that's I
How
think
many
that's
of
all
there
of it.
are there? I
I think that
just
was it. Yeah,
okay.
that's it right there.
I feel like I need I feel like I need a breath of fresh air after hearing all that. Goodness.
Yeah, a bunch of them, and I'm glad it's saying ends, and we don't get any more of these doggone Halloween movies. And now one of these
I'm
suckers can finally die. I don't know how
I'm
they're gonna
telling
kill
you,
Michael Myers based on what I've seen, but
I'm telling you that they're not going to, or they're going to bring him back. They've got a 50th anniversary that to celebrate here in a few years. They're going to find a way to bring it back again. They won't let it die.
they
They
probably
can't
let it die for
for a
5
few
years.
years.
Announce that they're
Yeah,
gonna have it drop on the anniversary and like
yeah,
Halloween. It's gonna be called Halloween really ends, or
H50 or something like
Halloween
that.
ends
Yeah,
again. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
H50. Yeah, definitely feel like that's gonna happen. Halloween H50.
yeah. It
50
has
years
to.
later.
It has to. I can't imagine them not doing that.
Gonna be like Jamie Lee Curtis's grandkids and stuff in this show. So,
Well, I mean, she's still alive and still in them. So if she's still kicking and
gosh,
part of
she's.
50, then
I don't know if she's gonna make it 6 more years.
I hope you're wrong.
She
I
looks
hope you're wrong.
old, yo. She looks really old. I'm sorry.
Uh,
But Halloween ends. Hopefully, will end after this one.
yeah.
It's gonna be released in theaters and on Peacock on October 14th. BJ, are you gonna go watch it?
No, I'm not a big fan of the Halloween movies. I've seen the original and that's pretty good, but I mean they when you get bogged down in all the sequels, it's just too much.
I'm
I've
gonna
heard
go
good
see
things
it.
about the new three though. So
I'm gonna go see it just because. I mean, why not at this point? Might as well go see
I
it.
can't fault you for that. I'll tell you
Cam
that.
says the OG Halloween is the GOAT one. He said that he
Yeah,
saw the Halloween Ends trailer before Bullet Train. It was good. Re-released the original Halloween. Whew.
I can agree. I can agree with
Calling,
all of those statements.
calling for it all here, Cam. Well, that's it. That's all of what's on Drew's mind today. Gave you a little double whammy today. You know I couldn't go without mentioning House of the Dragon and then Halloween. Yeah, God, it just seems to pop up and pop up. Again, people are already decorating for it. I've got one of my I mean, at this apartment complex just downstairs, they've already got a mat for their door that says spooky on it. They're already ready. And here we go. It's already
they want the heat to go away. They want fall and
uh,
Halloween to be here. So I can't fault them there.
already spooky season. Um,
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Drew, before we shift gears and talk about the WNBA playoffs, we saw some pretty good news come out today about the women's college basketball tournament. I don't know if you saw this. This is just earlier today from The Athletic and Richard Deitch. He says that the NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship game will be moved to ABC for the next 2 seasons. So starting next year on Sunday, April 2nd at 3 p.m. Eastern, so that would be 2 Central, the championship game will air on ABC from the American Airlines Center here in Dallas. The Final Four semifinal matchups will still air on ESPN at 7 and 9:30 Eastern on March 31st, the Friday before. ESPN has said they're planning to place the title game on ABC both next year and the following year. Those are the only two tournaments they have left on their contract, and I would imagine that they're trying to renew and extend that, and that would continue to place it on ABC for years to come. You talked about Drew network TV, and really this year we saw every tournament game similar with the men's tournament broadcast by the ESPN family of networks, and I thought it did a really good job of helping to grow more viewers to the tournament. And having the title game on network TV, I think, will be a good thing as well. Because I don't know if you remember this, Drew, but back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s, CBS also broadcasted the women's national championship game as well as the men's on that Sunday before the men's national title game. And then they stopped airing it after 1995, and then ESPN took over from there, and they have helped it to grow ever since. So um, I think that this would be a very good move. It's compared to earlier this year where they were competing with the Grammys. I
Hmm.
think that moving it up earlier in the day will help with the competition, and putting it on network TV should get more eyeballs on the women's national title game.
For sure. Everybody's got ABC that's got, national
Hmm.
TV.
And you could get ABC with just a makeshift satellite, as long as it's got one of those HD tuners on it.
But definitely about time. But it's gonna be nice to see it, and it's gonna be great to not have to compete with anything else when it's on
Yeah,
either. So that's awesome. Great news.
absolutely.
Great news, BJ. While we're on the
Yeah.
subject of women's basketball, let's talk about that WNBA that's been going on. BJ, you want to do? I'll do a little quick screen share for my people over
Okay.
here on ye old YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah.
WNBA playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. One side of the bracket has been decided, as you see, a couple of sweeps. Vegas with the sweep of Phoenix, and Seattle with the surprising sweep of Washington. That series, everyone expected to go three for sure, but it did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. I think that's
And
the most surprising result so far, at least to me.
and this right side of the bracket is the time where you've got some game threes. One of them's happening tonight, and that is Chicago versus New York. BJ, this series going to 3 games. Uh, Remind us of your prediction, and are you sticking with it for
Yeah. So
this
I,
final game three?
I said Sky in three, and that's what I'm sticking with. But I would not be a bit surprised with New York having the home court advantage. I expect it to be a really close game, much closer than game two was, because Chicago came out just flat out PO'd in that game two after losing in a close one in game one. But with the talent that both these teams have, I expect it to be a really close back and forth game all throughout. But I think the Sky eke it out.
I hope so. Hope so, BJ. Love me some Candace Parker, and I hope they can
Hmm.
make it to the semifinals. It would make for a good rematch with these people at the bottom, I think, that are going to burst through for game three, BJ, and I'm going to go ahead and jump the gun on you here. I think Dallas Wings can slide through and get a game three victory. The place is going to be
Oh,
packed. Already got report of UTA women's basketball
yeah.
coach Sarika Wright bought 200, I mean 250 tickets for
I saw
kids
that.
in town of Arlington for them to come to the game. So the place is going to be packed. Kids are going to be screaming. My ears are going to be bleeding. Um, but this is the first home game for this team in its history, and it's a game three situation to move on to the semifinals that it is never seen before. It
Yeah.
would be quite a lot to throw in one season for its first playoff victory, to turn into a first playoff series victory to a first playoff semifinal appearance. all
Yeah,
in one year. Do some very Dallas Mavericks like stuff. Do a lot of things you hadn't seen in a while from the Mavericks. They
very
have a
true.
special
Very
season where
true.
they end up in their own semifinals themselves on their side of the things. So hopefully ours end a little bit different, but it would
I,
guarantee at least one more game at the College Park Center, provided they win tomorrow night. And BJ, like I said, I'm flipping it. I got Dallas winning in three
okay.
to face the Sky and have a rematch of last year's first round.
I like that, Drew. I think that I'm actually kind of stoked with you talking about what with the UTA coach buying tickets and encouraging there to be a lot of people in attendance. I wish I could make it. I unfortunately cannot tomorrow, but I'm definitely gonna be watching and supporting from home. Uh I'm gonna stick with my original pick, Sun in three. I'm not doubting that the Wings can't do it. Oh man, I really hope I'm wrong though. It's been watching that fourth quarter in game two. The Wings were up by so much that they kind of just punted at the fourth quarter and put the game. They're like, well, we don't have to worry. We're up by 30, and then all of a sudden, here it come over like a 5-6 minute stretch in that fourth quarter. It was down to a 10-point game, and you're like, oh crap, we got to make some shots. And thankfully, when it mattered, they did make those shots to get that win. But were you feeling like that was going to be a choke for a second there, Drew?
Yeah, BJ, you reminded me about that now that, they were up by, 30 plus and, let it whittle down
Yeah,
to just a 10-point victory. That just makes
yeah.
me feel like Connecticut was slowly figuring them out as the night went on. And I'm hoping that is not the case and that just
Hmm.
the pure energy in the College Park Center and the will to, get to the next round, just pulls them over Connecticut. Connecticut would really be in a bad way if they lose this. And I said if they don't win the championship this, I think they should blow it up. And they're going to lose B Jones in the offseason no matter what. And I
Yeah,
don't know how things are going to work with this same unit trying it again and again. I think it's time to mix it up and have something new in Connecticut if they cannot beat Dallas tomorrow night or
yeah.
tonight as you guys are listening to this podcast. But
That's what I was kind of just about to ask was if Connecticut doesn't win. I mean, we talked about how much disappointment it would be if Connecticut couldn't even get to the championship. But what if they can't even get to the semifinals? I mean, you could really be looking at the end of the Sun as we know them, and they could really try to blow it all up. I don't expect that, but I also am saying that I think the Sun win. I think Drew of the two, I'm more leaning towards the Wings pulling it off over the Liberty, but I mean, I'm gonna go with my gut here, and I'm gonna take the higher seeds, and I'm hope I'm proven wrong at least in one of these because I think it would be great. I think it would be great to have a Chicago Dallas match. To have Sabrina and Enrique. I know Enrique's been there, so I don't know if she'd be back for the semis if Dallas made it. But I mean, I
she
want to see a Sabrina in the semifinals.
She is in practice right now, so she'll probably join the team for semifinals. She's just missing this first round. That was a for sure thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I anticipate Enrique playing in round two, provided they win. So
Yeah,
far, the higher seeds have won on the in the playoffs so far to advance. I think at least one of these lower seeds will jump, and I hope it's our Dallas squad. Hope it's our Dallas squad. But
yeah.
those are the WNBA playoffs and how we see that shaking out here at the bottom. We made some predictions before about the first round, so we'll advance and make some more picks. Well, let's see. There's going to be a game actually between. No, let's go ahead and make it while we're here. There's going to be the
All right.
series is going to start already by the time we get to another
Next
episode
week, yeah.
between the Aces and the Storm, BJ. So in the
Hmm.
semifinals, Aces Storm, who do you have advancing on to the WNBA finals?
And as you mentioned, Drew, this next two rounds, the semis and the finals, are both best of fives as opposed to best of threes. And we're hoping that eventually, at some point, the first round will also become a best of five series. I'm not gonna go against the Aces. I've been high on them since before the season started, and I'm not changing my tune. I think that it's going to be the Aces winning in 4 games over the Storm, and unfortunately,
Ooh,
Bird and Stewie will not get to get one more title on Jewel Lloyd before Bird retires, and who knows where Stewie and Jewel Lloyd, if they decide to go elsewhere, who knows where they end up in the offseason. Be interesting.
Storm in five. Storm in
Ooh.
five. The Aces are
Oh
known
man.
for their abrupt failures in reaching the finals and accomplishing the goal in the finals. And I
Hmm.
think they'll just all but be themselves and it happen again. And Seattle will make their way to the finals again. And
Well,
I think they're gonna go ahead and come away with it probably if they make the WNBA finals. But we'll see.
yeah,
Depends on
we'll
who's
see.
on the other side of
I
things.
I think if we talked about this matchup and we go a little bit more in depth here, I think that the Aces have been the best team at shutting down what Seattle likes to do all year, and that's get the pass it around and find the deep 3-point shot. I think the Aces, Seattle has had the most struggles against the Aces when it comes to getting and making a lot of their deep shots. So, Stewie and Jewel are going to have to, get inside and get into the interior. It's going to be a really good defensive series. I think, we're going to see, obviously, votes for Defensive Player of the Year had to be sent in after the regular season, but, we could really see who was the DPOY in the series, whether or not they actually get the award based on who wins the series.
I think the biggest difference maker in this series, and I might be changing my pick in real time, but just the fact the guard situation. Um, you got two all WNBA guards, all WNBA worthy guards, and Jackie Young and
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey Plum, and not to mention Chelsea Gray. They got such
Yeah,
heavy guard power this year. It's usually their bigs that
phenomenal.
they have to miss that you always have problems with, but all those guards, I think that's going to set the tone. If they have a good series, then I think they can beat them in five. Because, like, I mean, January, she'll be able to guard one of them, but you can't guard all three. And
Yeah,
Sue's not going to have the energy to just keep up with a Chelsea Grace, Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum all night. And I mean, they're
yeah,
both on the edge of retirement. So, I mean, they're probably going to shift some Gabby Williams up there to check. Maybe, golly, probably Jackie Young. I don't know, but they're gonna have to get interesting with the defensive matchups because that's a three-headed monster in Vegas, and that's a good matchup for Vegas. As far as the
yeah,
guard play goes versus
yeah.
Seattle. So okay, I take it back. Vegas in five. Vegas in five,
All
and
right.
it's for that alone. If they
Okay.
had one more guard defender out there to help out January, then
Mm-hmm.
I think it was possible. But that's just a
Yeah,
three-headed monster that's it's playing at another level. You're not going to be able to
yeah.
handle probably. So Vegas in five there.
I like
And
it. I like
that
it.
is your bit of WNBA playoff action. Let's do some with it or quit it.
All
Uh,
right. And
we-
don't worry if you're worried about our other semifinal preview. I think we'll try to plan something special for our TikTok when that
okay.
matchup gets finalized. So be on the lookout for that. Check us out on socials at Linktree there, and everything up top, the underscore lowdown.
Wait, over there.
Yeah.
Now, time for some with it or quit it. We ask
Okay.
5 questions to one another when we don't have a guest. And I've got a good bit of 5 questions for Mr. BJ here today. So, BJ, you ready to get rocking?
I'm ready. Let's get at her.
All right, BJ. BJ, number one. Ball is life. With it or quit it?
Such a broad statement. With it, yes, ball
There
is
you
life.
go. Ball is life. Simple and to the
Simple,
point.
sweet, and to the point, right?
Number two. You, Mr. BJ, prefer action movies as opposed to scary movies. With it or quit it?
Yeah, definitely with it. I'm not big into a lot of the scary movies these days are just filled with like blowing up pineapples and watermelon to make it look like blood and gore and guts and everything like that, and I just really don't care for it. They do cheap jump scares that I mean, yeah, they might be scary to some, but it just there's not really much to the plot other than just loud music and then oh no, what was that? So they just don't really do a whole lot for the plot of the movie. At least with the action, yeah, you're going to have loud noises, explosions, and everything like that. But there is a reason why Liam Neeson is trying to get his daughter back, or whatever the action movie might be. Arnold Schwarzenegger has to go and do something, or you know John Claude Van Damme. I know I'm naming some older action heroes, but you get my kind of my drift. So I'm gonna say with it.
There you have it. Number 3. You've kind of already answered this, but I just see if you want to change your mind or not. The Dallas
Okay.
Wings make the WNBA semifinals. With it or quit it?
I know I already answered. I don't. I don't like going back on my word. I'm hoping I'm wrong with my prediction from there. So fine, why not? With it. Let's do it. Come on. Give me
Hey,
the
there
upset.
he
Give me
is.
the upset.
Okay.
Give me the upset. Go Wings.
Okay, we might have all 5 with us today, ladies and gentlemen. We're on a roll. Let's see what we can do.
We got a little ways to go.
Number 4. You, BJ Laudermilk, would rather go bald than to lose your beard. With it or quit it?
Go bald or lose my beard. I have never thought about this before because,
You
like,
better start.
well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm going gray, so I've got
Okay.
early onset gray. So one of these days we'll be doing an episode. It'll be like, who's that guy sitting next to Drew? It's like, wait a minute, that's BJ. Like, oh my gosh, because he's got a full head of gray. And if it gets to be that point where in like 5 or so years I'm just full head of gray, I might as well just go bald. So yeah, I look a lot different without facial hair than I think without my head of hair. I'm gonna say with it. I'm gonna go with it again. Four for
I've
four.
never seen you without your beard, so
I'll
I
send
figured that would be the answer.
I'll send you a picture. I've had I've in fact it wasn't that long ago. It was a few years ago that I was clean shaven for a little bit movie role. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, all right, we're 4 for 4.
four for
This
four.
is this is
Moment
the
of truth.
last one. We have only ever one time had 5 straight with it, and I did it. I don't
Yeah.
remember which
So
episode it was, but I did it.
I don't know. I'm the only one that's done it.
You're
Cam
the only
feels a
one that
little bit
has not done
differently.
it.
Says he shaved, so he didn't do the facial hair as opposed to the going bald.
I think I would rather probably. I don't know. I don't want to answer that question actually.
Well,
Moving on.
hey, I had to answer it, so I'm gonna write that down for next week.
Number 5.
Number 5.
The Sulphur Springs Wildcats this season will have a better overall record than the Crandall Pirates. With it or quit it?
You picked that one for number 5 when we got a 4 for 4 streak going on.
I didn't think we were gonna get this far. I thought you were gonna quit it on the Wings.
Oh, maybe I should have, but
My
no,
4A competition versus your 5A.
I legitimately I think you're going to have a better record than last year, but I cannot say that there's going to be a better team. I think that this team for this Crandall team
I
could
know they don't
compete.
have to be a better team, but I mean
Yeah,
just a better
a better
record. You see
record?
our
No,
competition versus what you
no,
got to play.
no.
Okay.
I think maybe the same if you have a
Well,
really good season,
ladies
but
and
I
gentlemen,
think
I
that this.
tried. I tried.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So I think this team is going to be they're going to be up there in competition for one of the top 2 spots in the district. I don't think they're going to
Oh,
sneak their way in. I think when you look at the new district that we're a part of, we're either top 2, top 3. I don't think we're worse than anything like that. It just really depends on one of the new arrivals from the 4A level, how good Melissa actually does this year, because that's the big question mark, and that is like the first district game of the slate after 3 non-district. So that'll be the ultimate test. I think that could be the determiner in who gets the second seed, who gets the third seed.
boo you, Cam. Picking sides? What is this? I hope you guys missed the playout. I'm just kidding.
Oh
I'm not gonna
no,
do that.
come on, man.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
but
do that
like,
to you.
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I could see as much as 7 or 8 wins this season in the regular season. But like
Okay.
that, I think the schedule allows for it. So I'm not saying that I don't think that Sulphur Springs will be better than they were last year. I think they could even. I think we talked about it when the schedule got released, Drew. That I said that I thought y'all could make it into the playoffs this year, but I don't see y'all getting 7, 8 wins in the regular season.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I don't.
tough.
We'd have to really be completely turned around
Hmm.
to get 8 wins, and I mean we'd
Yeah,
be competing for the district championship at that point.
yeah,
So, and I don't think that's us this year.
yeah.
But next year and the next few years, oh, these young
Possibly.
Wildcats,
There.
oh man,
Yeah,
no, there's no possibility. These kids are good. They're the
yeah,
same size as the varsity right now. These freshmen, oh man, it's gonna be
yeah.
slim pickings out there for them little bitty people.
Oh, yeah.
They gotta play the Silver Springs Wildcats. But BJ, that's whether to quit it.
That's where
And
they're. Sorry, we
that
couldn't
is
go 5 for 5 this time.
that is also the
So
episode as
close.
well, ladies and gentlemen. As BJ and I said before, we are partnered with Fanatics. So if you want to go get that, college football merch, whoever your favorite team is, just go to our page. Go hit the link tree, go hit Fanatics, and just go start shopping right there. You just got to shop Fanatics with the Lowdown. Anytime you want to get collectibles or jerseys or whatever from your favorite players, shop it with the Lowdown through our personal link. It is in the description in this podcast. It is video on YouTube and in our link tree on our social media. So you got plenty of ways to get to it. And we tweet about it
Absolutely.
sometimes as well. So the link can be out there for you to go ahead and get. We let you know about some of the new releases coming out. Like we told you about that Notre Dame collection for
Yeah.
Fanatics. That is out and fresh right now. So you can
Go
go get
get
it.
you a Notre Dame shirt before they lose in the horseshoe to Ohio State week 1.
Yeah, if you're a fighting Irish fan, go get that right
Go get
now.
it.
Right
Go
now.
get it. Go grab it.
And make sure, as always, follow us on social media. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see all our socials on the overlay at the top, right above BJ, right there. You can find us at the underscore lowdown. That's THA underscore lowdown on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So make sure you're dropping us a follow on where that is. And guys, I know it kind of seems like it's sporadic right now. Like, why aren't you guys dropping new podcasts on Wednesdays right now? Well, we got to schedule a situation that we're kind of working through. So
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
to endure some Wednesday drops for right now, but we will be back to the Fridays here in a couple of episodes. So just bear
Yeah.
with us and we'll get back to our regular schedule sometime here in early September. So
Can't
still
wait.
working through some kinks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're going to follow us on that social media and make sure you're tuning in with us next week for another episode of the Lowdown. We're going to be back recording on a Tuesday once again for probably the last time,
Maybe.
and then we're going to be ready to go, ready to rock and roll. WNBA playoffs. We're going to be in the midst of the
Yeah.
semifinals. One of them may be over. Who knows? But we got a lot of things coming here pretty soon. WNBA is about to wind down, NBA winding up, and NCAA might be joining the fold for some podcasts here pretty
Yes,
soon as that
sir.
gets
Yes,
going as well.
sir.
So a lot of things coming with the lowdown and that mailbag. Hey, get those
Yeah.
in.
Don't
Cam,
forget.
send us some with it quick questions. You're in the chat. Send that to us. Whoever's got any, whatever y'all got for us in the mailbag, any questions at all, send us to us at our Gmail lowdown THA at gmail.com. Send those in. That mailbag monthly episode is coming up soon. So make sure you get that in before the end of the month, and we'll get that all squared away.
Heck yeah, man. All right. Till next time, my friend.
Till the next time, everybody, we will catch you guys next week.